Welcome back from the break. We are coming at you live from Marks Park in Johannesburg. And this is, of course, where the funeral service of the late Professor Keorapetse Kgositsile will be taking place. Now, we do know that the family is still at the family home where a prayer service is currently taking place. And as soon as they are done there, they will then proceed to this specific venue in Emerentia where the formal funeral service will take place. Now, we are joined by family and we're also joined by friends of Professor Kgositsile, and they're going to tell us more about the type of man that he was. We are firstly joined by Todi Moagi, and he is the nephew of Professor Kgositsile. Todi, can you just tell us what type of a man was your uncle?
Well, he was a teacher through and through. He was a humble man, but he was a man of principle. And he stood his ground. You know, he's the type of person that didn't fall for anything and stood for something. And whether it was popular or not, he stood for it. And, you know, that was just the type of man he was. But at home, he was humble, he was funny, very humorous, you know, and intelligent. And he had a deep love for the arts, creative work, and the youth, and developing the youth, you know. So that's just the man that I remember as Malume.
Now, Rashid, I'd like to also bring you into this conversation. Now, we do know that you are the founder of the Cape Town Jazz Festival, and we know that Professor Kgositsile had a love for jazz music. How did that come into your relationship?
Well, you know, Comrade Willie was a very special man. I met him in 1987 while he was in exile, but I got closer to him with the rest of his family, his Baleka and all his kids, and also his daughter Ipileng in New York. We became very close. But he was a quiet man. He was very humorous. He loved his music. And I think what's more important is that we have a body of his work that will carry his legacy. He's been a great teacher and a mentor to many people, including myself. So I'm very sad on one level, but we're excited that we can now go and spread his word further.
And Todi, what are you going to miss mostly about your uncle?
The way he taught. You know, you could ask him anything that you could ask a million other people, but his perspective and his view and how he delivered, you know, knowledge. He delivered knowledge in a very special way. You know, there's nothing that he would teach you that you wouldn't remember, you know, because there was always philosophy behind it. There was always, you know, I always like to say he always had a punchline. You know, he always had, his last line was something that you'll remember everything that he taught you by. You know, I remember a lot of things that he would say, you know, his little anecdotes. Things like, if you abuse your body, your body will abuse you back, you know. And this he said to one of our cousins while they were horribly hungover. You know, so those sort of memories just, you know, stay close. And yeah, there was a lot that he taught us, and we hope that we'll be able to reflect it to the rest of the world going forward. Yeah.
Now, Rashid, why is it so important for South Africans to continue to keep Professor Kgositsile's memory alive?
I think it's about the content of his work. You know, we all come from resistance art to now healing and reconciliation, and I think there is a lot of work to be done. So a lot of his work goes in that direction, and I think the younger scholars will look forward to reading his work and also understanding his thinking as a teacher, as a philosopher, and his way of demystifying, you know, the English language in particular. So he's going to be dearly missed within the arts fraternity, but his legacy is there for us to continue. And and pass it on to others.
Now that is Todi Moagi. He is the nephew of Professor Kgositsile as well as Rashid Lombard, and he was a friend of Professor as well as the founder of the Cape Town Jazz Festival. Now we do know that proceedings here are expected to get underway from around 9 o'clock. We do know that the Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to deliver the eulogy at the funeral service.